What's going on, sliders? Today we are doing a downpipe install on a 540i, and this is the first time I've worked on a G series 5 series, and by the looks of it, B58 of course. The only difference is we have a few other pieces in the way, for example this, in addition to the airbox and this brace, and we'll see what else. I believe that's all that's in the way, but this is a very beautiful car, very beautiful wheels, nice spec, definitely a big body slider. I'd love to have a 5 series one day, and a B58 powered 5 series sounds really good. But let's jump right into this downpipe install and see how we get this stuff out the way. All right guys, so first thing we want to do is remove this plastic piece so we can have access to this brace, and then we'll remove this brace. After that, it looks like this piece is connected to the intake pretty nice. So we're gonna get in here, and it looks like this pipe disconnects here, and let's see where else it's secured. It seems like it's secured to the airbox there by a Torx. After removing all these push tabs, the plastic is out the way. Now we're gonna move on to the brace. It is a 16 millimeter. That is a long bolt. And it seems like the longer bolt goes on the strut side, and the shorter bolt goes on the front end. Let me see. Yep. All right, so we're out. So just give it a nice tug and you should be able to remove this. I'm gonna loosen up this clamp, and then we'll get the airbox out of here. All right, clamp is loose. This connector is pretty straightforward. You just got to pop out that push tab, and now let's see if this comes out. Let me get two hands on it. All right guys, so the airbox is loose. I removed the one T20 that was here holding this piece onto the airbox, and I got it separate from the inlet. To do that, I had to push on a clip down there. I had to just pry on this with a flathead on both sides to get that to release the air filter box, and this came out pretty easy. Once this was loose, you just got to wiggle it a little bit, and you may need the assistance of a flathead if it's really tight, but I just loosened it as much as possible and it wasn't too bad. So now we can kind of see what we're dealing with here with this extra box that I don't know what it does, really. I don't know if it, maybe this stores like extra, I don't know what it does. I have no idea. If you guys know what this box does, please feel free to inform us, because I have no idea. All right guys, so after getting the airbox out the way and seeing that this is a bit of a pain to get out the way, and I do not feel like taking apart the intake piping, it's flexible enough for you just to swing it out the way and just move it off to the side like so, and that should give us enough room to access the downpipe. Considering we're going to be working over here and not over here, at least it's out the way so we can see what we're doing. So just like that, out of the way. I'm going to take this cover off before I push that over there, so that we have access to the O2 sensor connector. Wow, this is very insulated, pretty heavy duty. All right, so let's move this out the way now, like so, just like that. Not hurting anything. This is very flexible. So O2 sensors is the first thing that I like to tackle. Pretty simple to disconnect. The the hardest part of the O2 sensor connector is the clip here at the bottom. You're gonna need a fine flathead to move over that tab. As you can tell, there's a little tab in the center. You're just gonna move it off to the side. Push that tab off to the side. And once you push this tab, I don't know if you guys can see. Once you push this tab off to the side, it will allow you to slide the connector right off. Just like that, connectors are loose. There's no way of mixing these up. As you could tell, there's blue and blue. They are literally color coded. So we got that out the way. We are going to transfer these O2 sensors once we get the cat out. And yeah, now we're gonna move on to the clamp. Should be a 13mm on the turbo. And then now that the O2 sensors are loose, we can go to the bottom of the car, loosen up the clamp down there, and get this cat out of here. The bolt is loose there. Had to use a deep socket 13 to reach it. Please be careful not to burn yourself. This car is a little hot and I just burned myself. All right guys, so now that that clamp is loose, I'm gonna pop that clamp all the way loose from the bottom. But as you can tell, there's that bracket there that holds the downpipe right past the O2 sensor, if you guys can see it. The two bolts there. But before that, you're gonna wanna just loosen up the undershield just a bit, just a few bolts here. When we pull the downpipe out, this is out the way and you don't have to fight with the O2 sensors hitting on these heat shields. We also have this bolt here, this clamp that holds the exhaust to your downpipe. And we have another supporting bolt right here. I like to hit this clamp with some WD-40 or some PB Blaster, so that way it slides right off and I don't have to smack it with a hammer or fight it too much. Okay guys, so as you can see, that moving this under tray gives us a lot more space here. Bolts are off. Behind those bolts is a little clip. Just pry that back and the cat should swing loose. PB Blaster for the win. I just soaked it and it instantly releases it. It's awesome. So now you're just gonna have to put one arm, you're just gonna have to hold this exhaust back and pull this forward and you'll be out. You're gonna need a 22mm wrench to get these O2 sensors off. They may be a little tight, lefty loosey. If they're super tight, just give them a nice tap with the hammer and they should come right off. To get these O2 sensors off, had to give them a little tap with the hammer there. All right guys, so we got the downpipe up there. It is sitting on the turbo right now. I have it up on that hanger that we had to take it off of earlier. I have yet to put the exhaust on because it was giving me a little trouble with the exhaust on. So I'm gonna go up there now and get this clamp over the downpipe and the turbo, secure that, and then we are gonna have to just pull back on this pipe and slide it over. So when you're fitting your downpipe, you're gonna want it to look like that. You're gonna want it to look like it's sitting right nice and flush on your turbo. So that way you have no leaks and hopefully the clamp doesn't fight you too much. All right guys, so the downpipe is in, clamps are secured. Now we're gonna connect these O2 sensors, put this air box back together and button up the undershield. And then we're gonna start this up. This 540 has a muffler delete, so it should sound really good with the Catless downpipe. All right guys, first cold start, let's hear it. Super nice tone. All right guys, that's the end of this video. As you can tell, we're getting rained on. Catless downpipe 540 successful. Be safe, stay sliding.